Welcome back, true believers and all you spectacular Spidey fans, to another really exciting episode of Spider-Man PS4 101. So with Marvel's Spider-Man being out for a few weeks now, and with almost everybody completely platinuming the game, we are now waiting for the follow-up with the DLC pack of The City That Never Sleeps, and of course, New Game Plus. And even though we're all still waiting for Insomniac to finish working on New Game Plus, we do have some updates about the upcoming DLC pack of The Heist featuring Black Cat. And with this really exciting DLC less than a month away, we have received some really interesting updates about it from the one and only Brian Intar himself, as well as Spidey himself of Yuri Lowenthal. But to start off with the main man himself, Brian Intar, there was a live stream earlier today where Insomniac were playing Spider-Man PS4, and Brian was actually discussing about some details about the DLC. And if you want to watch the entirety of this awesome live stream yourself, I will leave a link to it in the description down below so you can go check it out whenever you feel like. But to basically summarize the main points that Brian brought up during the live stream is that the DLC is getting close to being finished, and there's a lot of really exciting stuff that we can expect in its final package. So the first part that Brian discussed is the length of it and the characters that will be featured within all parts of the DLC. So even though Brian was mainly discussing about the heist section of the City That Never Sleeps DLC pack with Black Cat, he did say that we can expect some really interesting characters to appear in Turf Wars and Silver Lining. And as for this particular iteration of Felicia Hardy herself, Brian said that this version of Black Cat will be one that a lot of fans will enjoy, and that she has a really interesting connection to Spider-Man. And obviously, while playing the main game, we do get references here and there about the past that Peter and Felicia have had with each other as Spider-Man and Black Cat, and of course that's going to be expanded upon in the DLC. Brian also continued to say that along with getting main story missions relating to Spider-Man and Black Cat, we will in fact be getting new side activities in the city to do, as well as new collectibles to find. Now, even though Brian didn't fully describe as to what these new side activities or collectibles are going to be, he did reassure us that they are going to be just as fun as they were in the main game within the DLC. And for me personally, since I did enjoy doing all the side missions and getting all the collectibles within the main game, I'm really curious as to see what these new activities and collectibles are going to be within the DLC. But of course, this DLC wouldn't be complete without some awesome new suits to wear within the game. Now, of course, we have already seen what one of these DLC suits look like, but Brian said during the live stream that the other suits that have not been shown yet look extremely cool, and that the majority of fans will be pleased with how they look. And if this first DLC suit is any example of what type of costumes Insomniac can create, I'm really curious as to see what the other designs are going to be for Turf Wars and Silver Lining. But even though new missions, collectibles, and suits are all well and good, the main important thing about any DLC is the quality that it contains. Luckily, the one and only friendly neighborhood Spider-Man himself, Yuri Lowenthal, actually discussed about the DLC in a recent interview, going over the game's success as well as a new show that he is featured in called Orbital Redux. So this interview can be found on GamerCrate's website, titled Yuri Lowenthal on being the voice of Spider-Man and his new show Orbital Redux. Now, the majority of the interview goes over Yuri's thoughts about him voice acting as Spider-Man, along with him playing the game for himself and the game's success financially and critically, and of course the inevitable sequel that will be made in the future. And of course, I'll leave a link to it in the description if you want to go check it out for yourself, but the main highlight about this interview is where the interviewer asks Yuri about the DLC. So this interviewer asked Yuri, can you talk about the upcoming DLC for Spider-Man? And Yuri interestingly responds by saying, I can't talk about the DLC except that the DLC is coming. But I will tell you this, a lot of people complain about DLC like, oh, this is just stuff that they couldn't fit in the game. They just repackaged stuff that didn't work. No, all the stuff was always planned as a DLC, and they're paying just as much attention to it as the full game. You're going to be getting a lot more than you think. The stories are good. It's not a bunch of chase stuff around missions. And given Yuri's statement here, along with what Brian said during the live stream, that there will indeed be a lot of content packed within this first part of the City That Never Sleeps DLC pack, I'm really excited to see what the entirety of it will feature on October 23rd. And of course, if you guys know me, I'm really excited to see how Insomniac is going to portray this version of Black Cat within their awesome game. But anyways guys, that's all the news that I have for you today, and please let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. What do you think about all the info that Brian Intar and Yuri Lowenthal gave about the DLC, and which part about it are you excited about the most? I know a lot of people are really excited to see what the upcoming DLC suits are going to be, but for me, I'm just really curious to see how this version of Black Cat will interact with this version of Spider-Man. But anyways guys, thank you all so much for watching. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans. Peace out.
End of the line, lady. You could have been...
Not with you around. I want to be as good as you. Instead, I pull a damsel in distress. You must think I'm a fool.
I think you are incredible.